it is what it is. It's the language that won over all the others. So
exactly, yeah.
the first thing, if you
They colonized the most people. Le mec direct controversé, quoi.
Holy shit. Holy fuck. Yeah, all right. So
On n'est pas dans le politiquement correct. Bon, allez, vas-y.
Politique for now.
Allez.
So the first thing is just to give a little bit of
yeah.
context about you, because people here might not know you. I know you're known worldwide, but like, you know, some people might not know you here. So just if you can give a brief little you know, not really speech, but just a little insight about who you are and what you do right now. Not your entire story yet. We're gonna come into this, but just like where you are right now, what you do. You know, just a quick little presentation.
Sounds good. Yeah. Well, first, thank you for having me, Robin. It's a pleasure to be here. And second of all, my name is Guillaume, and I'm 30. I'm from France, near a village near your village in the south of France. We come from the same part. I've been living in London for like 10 years, and my main activities are artistic ones. So I'm lucky enough to be a singer-songwriter and an actor, doing this full-time for the past 2 years. And with the up and downs of this kind of lifestyle I've chosen. And yeah, exciting things. I might actually move to Paris, you know.
Oh, really?
Before the end of the year.
Oh, really?
I have decided, because 10 years in London is good, but I feel like I've reached the end.
For sure. Wow, it's been...
But yeah, is that enough? Is that enough as a presentation?
No,
I'm not sure.
It's been 10 years already. Like I didn't even realize that. It's crazy.
It's crazy, right?
So
it's a long time.
So you were 20, 30 already, eh? We're 30. I mean, I'm 1 year older than you. But
Daddy.
But so you went. You arrived in London when you were 20 years old.
Exactly, yeah.
Crazy. You spent your entire 20s.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy, yeah, I know. Your entire 20s. I mean, it's easy for me to count.
Yeah.
That's why I want to live as well. I'm like, 30 now is good. I mean, for the story.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a good plot twist to change. But yeah, no, it's a great experience, and it was fantastic. I mean, you are an expat as well.
Mm-hmm.
Can you say expat in English?
Expat, sure. I think you can.
Living abroad. You've been living abroad as well, like me, for like many years now.
Yeah, not
learning
like
a new language.
Probably half the time that you did. Like it's just under like 4 years and a half for me. But the thing is, when you left, you were way younger. I just want to go a little bit over to start with a little bit of that thing. Yeah. How do you even start to think about, I need to leave my country to go somewhere else? Like, where does that come from, right? Because most people, might do it a little bit for vacations, or just to go like, I'm gonna go like 2 months, 3 months, work there and then come back. Did you leave initially with the idea of like, okay, I'm going and I'm gonna leave there, or like without really knowing for how long? What was the initial feeling and the initial plan when you left at such a young age?
To be honest with you, the initial plan was it came as a surprise to me as well, and it was a very, very fast decision. I've been feeling lost kind of most of my life, but back then I was feeling very lost.
Like all of us.
I just finished like my studies and stuff. What?
I said like all of us.
like most of us. I mean, we're just humans here. On the same boat, and we love it. Do we? No. We do.
Yes, we do.
Sorry, back on track. So I was feeling lost. I wanted to change, and I've been to London before, like for a few days that same year. I've decided to move here, but funnily enough, I didn't like it. I was there for like 2 days and didn't have a good experience. But then I was yearning for an escape. If I'm being honest, I was yearning to change my life completely. I felt a bit stuck. I didn't know what to do with myself, with my life. Like I was saying earlier, I finished my studies. I did the same school as you, the sound engineering course. And then I did an EP in my room. Then I was in a band back then, which you recorded, which split up. Then I was solo for a bit. I recorded an EP in my room. And then I was like, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't want to study. I want to be a musician, full-time musician. I don't see that happening here. So I really don't know why. I think in my mind it was like, this is the capital of like rock music. And a lot of the music I listened to were like English. So it was either the US or English, and England is so much more closer to France. So I think I've decided like to move there a month prior moving there. So it was really shocking even to my family and my my mom and stuff. She was like, oh, all right. But I'm lucky enough that I have a really supportive family. But but mainly it was to escape myself and to figure out what was going on, what was all of this, who I was. I didn't know who I was. So this was the beginning. For me, this was the beginning of the journey, to be honest. I mean,
it still made sense regarding what you were trying to achieve, right? Becoming a full-time musician. It still made sense, the move, like you said, with the music culture there, like and probably the scene. I mean, we call it the scene in French. I don't know if we call it in English, but the live scene is probably way more
the scene,
more present and important.
Broad.
in especially in London.
Especially. Yeah. No, I mean, in France, if you want to do that, you have to go to Paris.
Yeah.
It's because this is the biggest thing. But even back then, I mean, I was writing only in English. I wanted to learn. I always loved the English language. I was okay at school at it and stuff. I couldn't hold a conversation though. Once I arrived, and so there was a lot of learning curves. Like the first year was so chaotic. I spent so much money. I went into so many shit situations. I got fired. There's a lot of things that happened, but then I wouldn't take it back for anything. I got absolutely no regrets. This was such a learning curve, and I'm glad I did it. It was really rock and roll that year. And but then learning English as well, and me being into metal music as well. So I actually, the first few months, I actually was in like two metal bands before having like this kind of epiphany. At some point, I was in the very, very brutal death metal bands, and then I was just doing growls in the rehearsal. I was just doing growls with no lyrics. And I was like, at some point, I had this thought. I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, this makes no sense as well. Like, and then I kind of ditched metal, basically. I still listen to it to this day, some of it, but so then started the whole Billy Bogard thing later on, but that's where I found Billy as well.
So before getting into this, because that's a part that is really interesting, so what were the first, you said the first year was really chaotic. Like, how did you, so when you arrived there, did you have a job? Did you have somewhere? Did you have any kind of plan or not at all? So it was really just like rock and roll. How was that like first year in terms of not necessarily what you were doing, because you were just like trying to adapt and things, but just like mentally, how were you feeling? Like, were you homesick in that first year? Were you kind of like enjoying that escape that you were getting? Like, how were you mentally on that first year?
But it was mixed feelings for sure. And so I went there with the idea of working in a music studio, like in a recording studio. So I don't know why I did that, but I bought a map of London prior to this, and then I wrote down all the studios, and I printed my CVs and stuff before going to London. But obviously I was being very, very hopeful, too hopeful, because to be honest, I couldn't even speak. I couldn't even speak English, and I remember the first studio I went at. I was so scared to just enter in, and I was rehearsing my text to drop the CV. I was like, sorry, looking for a job in music studio is on my CV. And of course, this is such a closed business. Like I had no chances to get hired as in the studio. But I spent the first week basically spending a whole day long in the tube going from one side of the other of London, and I was sleeping in a youth hostel for like 6-7 days. Then after 3-4 days I was like bloody tired of like all the transport, and I spent so much money as well. Like, so I was like literally burning money because so much transports all day long. Like I was spending like 50 pounds like a day to just transport, then food, and then the hostel was expensive and stuff. But then it quickly, after I think 10-12 days, I lowered my standards as for a job, and then I found a job as a kitchen porter. I found a place to live with like 5 other people, and then I found a kitchen porter job. You know, kitchen porter is when you're washing the dishes in a restaurant, basically in the kitchen. So great job to learn English. No, it wasn't. But I was on my own with all the fucking plates. It's so, oh my god, this is like, I think the times where I was the most angry was in front of this fucking pile of plates. Dirty plates. It kept on coming forever, and you're like ling. It's like, oh my god, so many stimulus. You're not going fucking crazy. But thank God I only stayed 2 weeks in that job, and then I found like Starbucks. So yeah, to answer your question, I've been a bit going further into the story here, but to answer your question, yeah, I did. After a few days, so doing all of this, I did feel like it was not achievable. After like 3 days, I was like, that's it, I gave up. My brain was like, I give up. I broke down in tears in the nights, in the hostel, like night after like the second night or something. Broke down in tears. I was like, okay, I will never be able to learn English. This was silly. I'm going back to France. So it was like a big giving up, but then I carried on for some reason. But then I was like, I can't come back. It will be too difficult for me to come back and be like facing everyone almost. It was not even for me, which is a bit bad, because back then I was still yearning for the approval of others, but I was like, I can't come back, basically. I can't come back. I have to make this through. And
so it's an interesting thing, like it's a first interesting not necessarily lesson, but like feeling that we have on like when we're facing like a complicated situation, but going back was even more, felt like it was even more painful than not making this work.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, but yeah, I'm glad I pushed through, to be honest, because this was the thing to do. But
after how long you started to feel okay, like you started to feel adapted and start like your life came back together a little bit, like some kind of if it ever happened in the first year, because like for me it did not, but
in the first year, to be honest, I think it did not happen, because I mean there were so many changes at once. So but I would say after, at least concerning the English bits, after like 7 months I could have a conversation easily and be more or less at ease with the English language, even though like making many mistakes still to this day, but at least now I can make myself understood. Then job wise, I mean it was always like precarious type of jobs, up to like even today, to be honest, but back 2 years ago, before COVID, I always had like coffee shop jobs or sale assistant. I mean, I've done many jobs. Attends, what was the question?
You're saying when did you like start feeling like you had it together, basically?
Oh.
If you ever.
Oh, if I ever did.
In the first year, like, like personally, in the first year, like, there's no. It's just to say like how to give an insight of like about with how long do you need to actually start feeling like you have it together.
Yeah. But to be honest with you, like if we talking about globally, I rarely like I got it together. I mean more since I've done therapy and stuff. To be honest, so it's been quite recent. Like let's say, for the past 2 years. But I would say maybe 2 years. Maybe 2 years in, then I started to make friends. I started to have more of a structure. Started doing after like. Even less than a year, but I started to, obviously, my music project, doing a lot of open mics. So I was, it was gradual, of course. And then I made friends, and then, I would say, after 2-3 years, I would say I was like living a life, basically. Not being on survival mode, because the first year was survival mode, exactly. That's a good way to say, the first year was chaotic, yet the one I learned the most, and then it was more alright, more like a peaceful endeavor.
That's good. 2 years. And so let's get a little bit on when you started to do more like open mics, and you started to have more. Did you ever got like a little bit away from the music during these 2 years to like get back your life, or was it always
It was always there, but obviously when I moved there I didn't have any guitars or but like I said earlier, I was even in the first month amongst the chaos of the first few months, I went with a band, and then I did like two scenes with them, found two gigs, and then it was good because I've worked on the screams so much back in France and stuff, because I took lessons and stuff, and for me, I gave one of my best vocal performance with this band, which was a bit like Linkin Park kind of thing. And then I was like, okay, I've arrived, and then I dropped them. Then I had no more interest in that. So I was like, it sounds really selfish. Like, okay, you fed my ego, guys. Thank you. Now goodbye. But it wasn't like that. It's just that I didn't like metal as much as I used to once I arrived in London. But then for a few months nothing music-wise happened and stuff. Then I bought a guitar, and then I started open mic. So it was always here. It was. I mean, I was there for the music, and then after like maybe even less. After like 3-4 months already, I already had a guitar. After 2 months. I bought my first guitar there, which I still have in France now. But it was always here. And then I started Billy Bogard and started writing songs, and it was always here. And then recorded EPs. My first EP I recorded in 2014, and I arrived in London in 2013. So it was less than a year. I already did like.
So how was the process? So you quit like the band and stuff, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go with like solo acoustic things first to do this, and you create the name Billy Bogard, which is your
Bogard,
name, your artist name.
Ouais. But basically, it's a funny story. But
so what's the story behind
when
that?
I first. What's the story behind this? Well, did you know I did not find this name? Okay. It's not me. It's my ex-manager.
I thought you were gonna say ex-girlfriend. Sorry.
No. No. I had absolutely no time for dating then. They say I was not ready. I was not ready to. Anyway, that's another thing. So. Billy Bogard, basically I met once I was working in Starbucks, like I mentioned earlier. I met this guy who was French, and then he told me, oh, my friend is like a sound engineer as well. He's an artist and he's a manager. And then he put me in contact with this guy. It turned out that all we did was going for coffees, and he was just selling me stars, basically. All we did was going for coffee and talking about how successful I will be. It made no sense. But my ego was a bit pleased. He was like, oh yeah, when you're gonna be a big star, you won't, please don't take pictures with all of them and stuff, just a little bit, but not too much and stuff. It was silly stuff. Like, I was like, it was so far from my reality, but I was just like, okay. But then we were recording at his house, but I was clearly not ready. No, I was not ready. Billy Bogard was not born yet. I was still William Skelter back then, because I had many names. And then he dropped me after 4 months. He was like, you're not ready. This is going nowhere. And I was like, yeah, you're correct. It's going nowhere. But he found the name though. So Billy is like William in English, and Bogard is coming from an actor called Humphrey Bogart, which, funnily enough, I haven't seen one of his movies. If I'm being honest. I mean, it's black and white stuff, so it's like the classic, but never got around to watch it. I should.
Maybe just one. Sure. At least one. You should watch one.
Maybe just one, so I can say I did. So I can say I can justify the name, but I'd rather watch The Lord of the Rings for the 17th time, you know what I mean? Anyway, and so Billy Bogard was born, and then after he dropped me, I had a kind of another kind of moment like this, and then I started writing my songs, and I started doing open mics. So, and then I kind of never stopped.
Yeah. How is the open mic scene in London? It's pretty diverse. There's a lot of stuff going on, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people like me with people with their guitars. It's the classic singer-songwriter with his guitar and singing in the corner of a pub. And if you want, you could do one every evening. At some point, I was doing a few once every week. Then I couldn't. Then I gradually slowed down as I was moving forward to like better and bigger gigs. Maybe some where I could. But now I can kind of get paid with my gigs if I organize them. But it's not a given. There's not much money in my music. But for now. Anyway, but yeah, it's a great thing because I was so fucking scared the first. Even though I was doing. I've done gigs in the past and stuff, but this time on my own in the country, I don't know, singing in a language where everyone could understand. Like, this was really frightening, and but it was a good kind of frightening as well. Like the first one, I was like, and to be honest with you, like if anywhere an open mic is a good place to do it because no one cares. Like they are all drunk, they are on their 6th beer. Whatever, they don't listen to you, they are talking over you, so it's a good place even to try songs. I used to do that. I used to be like, I'm not sure about this song, let me try it out live, see how it feels. I was like, no, it's not a good song, that's okay, I just did it. So, and I mean, that's where I forged my, like, because for me, in all humbleness, my main thing is live music. Like, because I've done a lot. I've been lucky enough to start early on, and then I threw myself in like this open mic world. I'm used to be on stage, and I think that's where my art shines the most. So it's always good to. I mean, I'm not the first one. You know, Ed Sheeran did that, Adele as well. Like they all done open mics to start with and build confidence and stage skills.
Totally. Do you know, like you probably don't, but like do you know how many like live you've done so far in your entire life? Like
in my entire life, fucking hell, all included.
Well, it would be too complicated to probably.
I would say between 200 and 300 roughly. I would say. Maybe I'm overestimating a bit. No. Maybe between 100 and 200.
But I mean, you can count. An easy way to count it is more by year. Like, how many did you do by year and how many did you do by week? But I mean, we might not get into like complicated math right now. But
15. Yeah, it's a good question though. It's a good question. Never. Yeah. Probably, yeah, definitely 100, at least 100.
Oh yeah, I would say way more than that. I mean, for like if you
Would you
started,
think?
because you
Yeah.
started even like with your family when you were what,
Ouais, ouais.
like how?
Do you count
Yeah,
theater
count
then?
that like so
Because
when,
that was. Are you counting theater?
yeah, like
Oh,
count
okay.
everything
Oh, okay.
like from a lifetime.
All
Yeah,
performances.
you're
Fucking hell. Oh
probably
yeah.
like
All star. All in. All in. Okay. Yeah,
probably
yeah.
a lot.
Then
Yeah.
200, 300.
And so
300.
how when did you? So let's get a little bit on the music for a second here. When did you? How old were you when you started?
For a
When you
second
started
here.
music, what did you start first? Like an instrument or singing, or and at what age did you start?
So, singing was
Mhm.
the first one. I remember singing in front of my classroom when I was
Yeah.
like 12. But before that, I did theater. I did like
Yeah.
plays and stuff when from the age of 7. Then I really switched for music when I was like
Mhm.
15. 15, I picked up
Yeah.
the guitar, and then I started writing my songs, being in the rock, metal bands kind of vibe, and
Yeah.
yeah, and then I carried on. Now I play the piano as well, the
Yeah.
harmonica.
Oh, the harmonica. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. True. True. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is more like a little spice on top
Yeah.
now. It's more like the cherry on top sometimes. I don't use it as much as I
Yeah.
used to, but because I'm not so folky anymore. But
And
But
you
yeah.
started with. I mean, I know, but it's just like you've been. It's funny because your family. You're from a family of everybody's like an artist in your family. So
Ouais.
I mean, obviously, we can say
Oui.
that it played a role into influencing.
Oh, for sure.
Because
So much.
does your mom still give singing lesson and,
Oui, oui.
and things like that? Yeah.
Exactement. Ouais, for sure. No, I've been encouraged now
Yeah.
since the start. I mean, my first proper, like, I'm talking about the performance in the
Mhm.
classroom, but my first stage was like at a restaurant
Mhm.
in Salon Provence, in a pizzeria, and I sang James Blunt.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. And which one was it? 1973. I
Oh
think.
yeah.
1973. No, I was piecing myself like this. Here we go again. I was probably like this, and but it was good. No, but I mean, I've been,
Yeah.
and to be honest, of all the siblings, I'm the one that came on stage last because I was on stage like when I was. I mean, in this form, I was like 14, 13, 14. But my sister started like when she
Yeah.
was 6. Put on stage and stuff, and my little brother as well. But yeah, we all. I mean, I'm lucky enough to come from, like I said earlier, to come from a family that really supports me because we are all in the same thing, even though we all do our different stuff. You know, my mom and my sister, they are really into musicals. They love musicals, and I like musicals as well. But me and my brother, for example, we're more into the singer-songwriter slash
Yeah.
band kind of vibe more than the musicals. But yeah, no, but I've been lucky, and I've been performing songs I didn't like for years as well. Back then, because we're singing on backing track, I was singing in French, which I hated back then. I hated French. And you know, like stupid things like Ben l'Oncle Soul, stuff like this basically. Well, the English people would maybe don't have the reference for that song, but all kind of songs like Disney tunes. Used to dress up, being the Beast in the Beauty and the Beast,
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff. Yeah, so it was all good. Huh?
Yeah.
It was all good. I'm grateful.
For sure. It
Grateful
gave
for
the
the experience.
experience, and I'm curious to know, or do you guys like do you guys talk ever like all together about like stuff like that, or
Coming together.
just like
Yeah.
like not necessarily in terms of like support, but do you guys like send each other things or like get some like artistic feedbacks on things, or it's more just the like the family support?
it's more like the family, but you know, like, to be honest, because we're doing different things, you know, like we do now. My sister, obviously, she's into doing musicals. She's working in Disney at the moment, so it's very different from what I want to do. But every now and then, when there's like a casting maybe which I can fit in or something, she sends it to me, or she sends it to my brother. With my brother, it's I ask opinions. I mean, for example, when I have new songs, I always make them listen to them, and I'm asking for their, even though they are not very like impartial. To say, you know what I mean? Like, my mom will love my songs no matter if I write the songs together. She would say, oh, he's good, well done. She was the song can be like beep beep popo, beep beep popo, Billy. It can be like that, and then she will be like, well, nice, it's a hit. So I can't really trust my mom on that. But you know, it's good to have but obviously when I because I told you earlier a bit that I might move to France, because now I'm doing a very different style of music which I haven't been releasing yet, but I'm doing the very style I used to hate back then. French variété, my friend. I'm doing French kind of modern pop, and now I'm singing mainly in French, and so it makes sense to go to Paris. I think after all these years, I think I have more of a chance to actually make a living out of my music, at least, or maybe writing for others in Paris. And so therefore my sister can help me out, because she has a lot of contact now in Paris, and so if I decide, for example, to go into the voiceover world, my sister does that. She can advise me on what to do, how best to so you see what I mean? We can help each other out, and in that case, you know. And my little brother is moving to Paris as well. I think I've been influenced, but he's starting a music school in September. So Abbey Road.
Oh, nice.
So anyway,
no, but that's
but I must say thank you for asking me all these questions. It really makes me feel like I've accomplished
of course
stuff.
No, but wait, like there's something very interesting
which I did.
But you did.
Okay.
I mean, there's something interesting in the fact that, you know, so you left to like get some kind of escape and things like that, and I understand completely, because I kind of like felt like this as well a little bit.
Was it the same?
A little bit also.
Well?
It was a mix of this with also like just the fucking adventure. Like, I was craving getting away. Like, I spent my entire fucking life in Salon de Provence or Pélissane, and
novelty.
Like I needed, and I was like, and I was way older than you.
The
so
change and
but what a
explore.
But the thing is, you know, you're saying you were singing in English, and then now after all this time, you're getting back to French, and you're getting back in France. So that's an interesting thing to see, that like you went away to then like find back your roots.
Just like Frodo.
Just like Frodo, exactly. But that's an interesting thing, because, you know, you
what can I say? I'm the chosen one.
You're probably carrying the ring or something.
Le melon, quoi. Le melon.
No, but like it's
the ego. I mean, I'm a singer, so what did you expect? I have a big ego.
It's just interesting, because to me, also my point is, like, it doesn't change people to do this, you know, like it gave you so much more perspective on things, and more culture, and more experience, and your mind is probably way more open now, and like, but you didn't like lose, you know, who you were, like
who I was,
like losing yourself to find yourself, and then getting back on things, coming. You know, it's interesting. I think that you're coming back, and like you feel that you closed the London chapter, and like a fucking 10 years. It's a lot.
Yeah, chapter.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and I know it's just a goodbye. It's not even like a farewell, you know, because it's so close, and I still have my friends now here. But what you just said reminded me really of a cheesy quote saying.
I love quotes.
not all those who wander.
Yeah, exactly.
Are
I've
lost.
used that quote. Yeah. No, but it's a great one.
That's why it springs to mind. Yeah, no, but yeah, I agree, and you know, it's all. I believe in things happening for a reason and stuff, and I think, yeah, it's yeah, I mean, I'm glad. Did you? I know we're talking about him, but did you kind of find yourself as well after losing yourself? Because to me, I mean, from my point of view, you're such an achiever. Like you basically, it feels like you are completing. It's almost like you finish the main storyline and you're doing as many side quests as you want, but you're one of these people that finish the video game like 100%. With all the side quests. Meaning, I'm saying this, meaning, or maybe you just move on from one video game to the other, finishing them 100%. First, you were a sound engineer. You were like probably one of the best in our village and stuff. You were so good, like so dedicated, learned so much, built your own home studio. Then you were like, okay, I'm kind of done with it. Ditched everything. Became a trainer.
CrossFit coach.
How is it called? Yeah, CrossFit. Thank you. You became almost like the best at CrossFit for years. Then you were like, okay, I've arrived. Now I'm doing something else. I'm going to create content, making video. So it feels like you're just like a big, high achiever. And my point being, what was my point? In all of this, you surely want to explore different side of yourself, or you're like, what is it exactly? Is that because at first you wanted to move to Canada to find yourself as well?
Yeah.
Could you relate to this
just
too?
Just for the record, so there's no too much. I wasn't like in CrossFit. I wasn't the best at CrossFit where I was at all. I was not. I was pretty good. Let's say I was pretty good in my best years, but I've never been like a high level athlete or at a high level at that. Just I want to make that
at
straight.
Least to me. Wait, no, but to me. To me.
No, I know. Yeah,
like,
the thing is,
you're the guy that achieves whatever he wants. Basically,
it's not like, really. Did I achieve whatever I want? It's just that I have that thing that's just, if I decide something, like I'll just won't give myself any kind of, but not in a way of like, oh, it's discipline and it's tough and I'm tough. Just in a way that I just, it's because I want to do this, and what else can I do? And so, regardless of the cost, regardless of what I need to do, I'll just do what I need to do, and become obsessed with things because I'm obsessed. I have like how would you call that? An obsessed behavior on things sometimes, and I just like I discover something and I'm okay, I want to do this, and then I will do nothing else than that, and just like think about that all the time and just do, and then at some point I got the feeling or the things that I wanted to do, and then my mind's gonna be like, okay, what else now? But it's also because I think there's no life is too short, and there's too many things that are great in this world that like I don't care about becoming I don't care about becoming the most expert into one thing. Like I want to see every fucking thing, you know what I mean?
Want to experiment a few things,
but it's but the main thing leaving, the main thing was I wanted, like I needed to change air. Like I couldn't stay in the same thing, like it was my entire life, like 25 years, 26 years, and I was like, okay, let's fucking get on an adventure, because it's like I couldn't see myself staying there. But
and for us,
and because your other question was to find yourself and things like that. It's a very interesting. I mean, I'm fascinated by the identity stuff with people, because when you break things that you were identifying to, you're like, what the fuck is happening? Like I thought I was this, or I thought I was that.
Who am I now?
Exactly. And then you realize that it's not like who you are. It's not who you think you are. Like that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Like we think we're somebody. We think we have like a we're doing something, and like, oh, it's my name, my job, my
construct.
stuff. And then you make things happen,
yeah.
and then it breaks, and then you do something else, and then you're kind of like losing the thing, and it can be a little. It can bend your mind a little bit.
Yeah, it can hurt a lot to identify too much to something. I mean, I join you on this. Obviously, I'm identifying a lot as music, because music has been such a big part of my life. I mean, it's most of my life, to be honest with you. And the danger with this is that if I think this is only if I think this is all of me, basically, it's easy to be disappointed or to be like, because for example, when I write a song, it took me a lot of work and stuff, but because it still happens to this day, but less than before. I used to write a shit song and think I was a shit singer-songwriter, and therefore, because I'm a singer-songwriter, I'm a shit, basically. So that's, you know what I mean? That's the whole thing, and it's not okay, because what I produce is not a reflection. If anything, it's not a reflection of me as a human. So it's dangerous, and society makes us. It's encouraging us to fall into these boxes for sure. Like so we are easily to manage, easy to because if you meet someone and you're like, oh yeah, I'm an accountant, you're like, okay. And most people is like this. Most people is like they are in this box and they don't. But it's not entirely their fault. I think. I think society is a big thing for that. But I don't really know where I'm going with this.
No, that was just because you were saying you were identifying a lot with music. But like ultimately, we have to. It's just like identifying or something that I was talking with somebody else is more what I do is identifying with the direction, with the mission I give myself to do, and not like one job, one name, one this, one that. It's like what kind of like
something
experience
big.
you're going toward. What are you trying to achieve? Like the big picture.
Exactly.
Like the values, almost like identifying with your values as a human, and not like I'm a fucking accountant, because that's what you do.
It's too limiting,
and that's what you do because you need money to live. That's not who you are. And tomorrow you can lose your fucking job, and what does it mean? Like it's
exactly.
But it's an interesting thing. You were.
It's true. Yeah.
I'm interesting to talk a little bit about writing songs and like creating music, and then how do you feel when you not the fear, but like the fear of judgment with like art and stuff, because there's a lot, there's still a lot of people that could be great artists, and today there's a big barrier of like that fear of showing you expressing yourself artistically, especially with social media and stuff like that. It's a big I think it's a big thing, and especially for younger generation, because you arrive here and you see all these crazy artists already and like insane stuff. Do you have like any things that you helped you breaking barrier? That's for you is probably also all the experience that you've had on like live and things like that, but I don't know on the that aspect if you would have like a few things to say.
I mean, it sounds really simple, but like it's good not to give. It's good. It means you care, obviously. It means you care if you like, but it's good also not to care too much. Like, I mean, when you release songs, it's like, and as well, we are falling into the comparison trap, like you said, because obviously when you're an artist, you're first starting out, and you hear all these like songs on Spotify, you're like, oh my god, my quality is shit.
Yeah.
Like, but you can't. The truth is, you can't. compare, because they have like people behind them, they have like a lot of people. Yeah, I mean they have a whole structure, and we don't, because basically we are a bit lied to, saying like, oh, this is the first song of this upcoming artist. This upcoming artist has been here for 10 years. Like if tomorrow I sign a deal with a music label in France, they will present me as a new artist, where I've been active for like
your whole life. Yeah.
15 years. Like, you know what I mean? But it's the name of the game, because otherwise this doesn't sell. If I'm like, oh yeah, he's been here 10 years, but now he's finally having a bit of success and stuff. What was wrong with him? Like 10 years struggling or something? The thing is that, anyway, to come back to the... I mean, for me, like the way I see like songs and stuff is me trying to be as vulnerable as possible, and that is why I moved to French, because I'm allowed. I'm allowed. No, I'm able to be way more vulnerable in French, in my language. I've realized that I had this kind of, like you said, mental barrier. And I was using a bit English to hide my real feelings, or maybe to make it look a bit shinier and a bit more polished and less, but endlessly, in the end it was less deep. And I realized the French was good for me, where as soon as I started to write about my one of my biggest traumas, and I was fucking in tears. I was breaking down while writing the song. And then I listened back to it. I was like, oh my god. And I always said that it took me like 7 years to write this song in like 15, 20 minutes, basically. But I mean, it's the only thing. If you are vulnerable, which is I think the scariest bit, but if you want to do this kind of art and stuff, you need to strive for honesty and vulnerability. And to be real to who you are, what you want to say in the songs, not play too much of a character, just be you. And if people, and to be honest with you, like when you first release songs, no one gives a shit anyway. Again, so the first EPs, you should be allowed to create shit stuff. Maybe don't release your shittest stuff. Maybe release the less shit stuff first, because out of like 10 songs I write, 2 are good. Yeah. To this day, and then it just gets better with the years and stuff. But I mean, if there's any like, I don't feel like to be honest, I don't feel like I can give advice to this at this point in my life. But I would say just don't care too much. If you want to release a song that is true to you and you like it and you feel, and just do it. And no one. And to be honest with you, no one, even if people don't like it, no one will say, hey, I don't like it. Like most people, unless you have a big fan base, you won't have any haters. Yeah. So you might as well do it, no? But it sounds easy for me to say from
no.
Now,
I mean, well.
It's
always all insights are interesting. I like the thing of nobody cares because it's way bigger than we think. Like we think we're the main characters in other people's life. Exactly. Nobody gives a shit. Like it's because people think about themselves, and then you're gonna do something, and we're gonna be like, oh, something that I did, and it helped me is like you try to switch your perspective into. Somebody else, or you try to think about somebody that you care about that is doing what you're doing and how you would feel toward them, and like you would be like cool or like nothing wrong, and other people that would be criticizing where you wouldn't give a shit because they like you wouldn't care about their opinions. But the world is full of people on the sideline that are gonna criticize it, and it's something. Now it's something. You release a song, and somebody's gonna come to you and say, "Oh, that's shit," and you're like, "Okay, so let's hear your song. Where's your song, man?" Well, like I don't write song, but it doesn't mean that I can have an opinion. Yeah, you can, but like where you're not legitimate to like the critic. It has no value. 99% of the time. It's only noise, right? Like because people will say everything and anything, and one of the most important thing to understand is that it comes from their own very unique perspective.
Insecurities.
And insecurities depending on
Exactly, yeah.
their life, and it's but it's a problem today, and for everything, like being you and you don't because you're afraid of like others. It's
it's the real tragedy to me. I mean, it's difficult because yes, we do feel judged. I mean, even I'm sure you can testify in France, we have a bit judgmental as a nation. I would say this is more in the mœurs. I don't know how to say this in, it's more in the constitution, let's say. I don't know if you can say that. But
it's an older...
In the end, like you said, we're not like... We can't help people judging us or seeing that as well. And today, to be honest, I think that, like I was saying, like the tragedy is not being who you are, because most people don't feel like they are allowed to, because we are, well, encouraged again to fit in this box and stuff. But the real freedom comes by first discovering, and then so discovering means breaking out of patterns that maybe someone else or society made us forced us in, and then discovering who you are, and then loving who you are, and then having the courage, because this is a courageous act to 100%. Be who you are. But everyone has that, and to be honest, it's, you know, there's goods. It's not like it's not a place where you arrive and then you're yourself forever. It's always changing. But when you're aligned with your values and you know your mission on Earth, or you have something that is larger than maybe larger than a job, or you know, that then it's I think this is the closest to being happy as you can get, like being yourself, and just assuming, and you know, and as well, it's good because you don't waste so much time trying to please people you don't even like and you know, because this is such a waste of time. We try to fit in, sometimes we don't even know why. Like because I say that because I'm an ancient I'm an old people pleaser. I used to please everyone around me, forgetting and sacrificing my needs just to fit in and to be liked. But that ended up me being victimized, or maybe me not being liked for who I really was, you know, as well. So it was a self-betrayal, a form of self-betrayal. It sounds dramatic, but that's what it was. And if you're yourself, and you know, with respect and kindness always, you know, but if you're yourself, then you will attract the people that fits in your life perfectly, without having to change who you are. And then you just feel at ease. You don't feel like you have to wear a bloody mask all the time, which is fucking exhausting. But we all do, huh? To some degree, we all do wear a mask. I do sometimes. When I feel it's not safe to be myself, I wear a protection kind of thing. And I'm not talking about this kind of protection, if you see what I mean. But
no, for sure. No, you said something really good in all that. Which was, I think...
Okay, serious, Robin, serious. Stay focused.
It was the golden... it was the golden nuggets.
The golden nuggets! Was it the golden nuggets you told me about?
I'm looking for these... that's the goal of that whole project, looking for these little things. You said being yourself is... the happiest you can be, or you said something. No, it sounded better. You said being yourself is the closest.
Is the closest to happiness you can get.
That's a good one.
That's gonna be on my. That's gonna be my epitaph. And then just underneath, it's good to eat, because I always say that I love to eat. So all my friends know me by
really?
Good to eat. So yeah, it's gonna be a two-line epitaph.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's I mean, that's a big subject, but it's by, I think it's by doing and then saying that kind of thing, like spreading that kind of message that like everybody starts at some point, and don't be afraid of others. Just just be yourself and then see what happens. But I think the people who, and this needs to be categorized as being fucking courageous. Like that's the thing. That's the true strength today, and courage is this, because everybody's fucking scared and hiding. You shouldn't.
Exactly,
I can't comprehend it now, but also me, it's been like also pretty recently, but like before I was like this exactly, but now I can't comprehend, I can't visualize my life with having like being scared of like talking about anything that I would want, and like publicly, even like putting that online, like what, like, oh no, you can't say this or you can't say that. If you just have your noble intention, and you shouldn't, nobody should ever be scared of like speaking their truth publicly. Like, what the hell is this? Like, why you can't say what? Like, you should, whatever you want to say, you should be able to say it.
If you want to scream at a lake,
if you want to make video, and like exactly, definitely. Like I literally made video where I'm just like crazy and fucking scream everywhere,
naked and screaming at the
Nobody
lake.
really cared. Nobody cared. Like, and that could have been something like, oh shit, like what is going on? Like it's
I loved
like,
it.
Who cares? Like the day after, people were back in their bullshit. Like it is what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. It is, and people like did. I'm curious because you did people send you texts being like, "Are you crazy? Did you become crazy?" Or something?
I've had a bunch of people who got back to me, and like not necessarily "Are you crazy?" but a little bit, or like "What's going on?"
Is everything okay? Like they were like, "Is everything alright?"
Exactly.
Like,
which I understand. But
it's
like,
funny.
It's. Yeah, it's it's the same thing like a box. Like you're doing things, and then suddenly somebody does something that's a little different. Like, oh, what
exactly,
is this?
Yeah.
Like,
but even if it's something like changing your haircut or your jackets, people will
changing.
Be like, if everyone is formatted,
it's changing.
Yeah, exactly.
People resist the change. Yeah. It's like we're into something and like
the change.
No, it's like I'm gonna stay in this forever. Yeah. I can't change anymore. Like it's a tragedy.
It's a prison. It's a
prison.
It's good. Yeah, it's a tragedy. It's a prison. Yeah, it's.
But it's the system. I think it's not necessarily people's fault completely. It's the system in which we're in as well that is like forge us into staying into something, because the system needs consistency, needs like rigidity, needs like you to start something and stay the same person and just contribute to the system. That's all we need. So this is why but I mean it's changing. It's changing, and I think we need both, to be honest. Like we need free it's good to have you and I, it feels like we are free-spirited people, but we need maybe I think everyone needs an open spirit though, like it's because of course like there are people that I think more pragmatically and stuff. I'm not one of them, but some people are logical, more like, okay, this is it, okay, I like to do that, to build a bridge, I put one brick after one brick or whatever. Like for me, it's not like some people love this, I'm sure, and we need those people, otherwise we won't have any bridge. Me, I want to make the music while you post in your car on the bridge. To make the journey more appealing. Fucking hell, I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, absolutely.
We need both, but coming back to like, the thing is, it's hard to. First of all, we have to realize we are in. It sounds like every movie, like Fight Club or something. First, you have to realize that you are in the Matrix. I don't like to say it like this, but. For lack of a better word, we are conditioned without knowing, and the first step is to recognize, oh my god, I've got so many social constructs I'm not even aware of. Like they go way back with Christianity and religion and just social construct. For me, what really changed my life is therapy. Like I really encourage everyone to go to therapy. Like, especially if you're feeling lost, you don't know what to do with your life. Like, this is also a very courageous thing to do, because this is not easy. Therapy is great. It's not easy. But it's definitely worth it. It's like you're planting the seeds to harvest later on in life, depending on how much you need, how much self-awareness you have, how much trauma you've been through. And to be honest, I believe I would like to always be in therapy, basically. Like now I do it once a month, but I used to do it once a week for like 2 years. And it's only after the second year that really this made me do things like go to see my dad again after like 7 years, which made me feel much, much, much better, much happier with who I am and stuff. I still have dark days, Only 3 days ago, for 2 days, I was bloody depressed. But then I came out of it, and now I'm okay. But I would say, like, if you're hesitating to do therapy, you should do it. Like, I'm saying this not to you, but
for sure.
Like
to
people watching. Maybe
but it makes a lot of sense. Like, I'm a believer that everything you keep inside does not go away. Like if you don't deal with things, because it's such a it's just in your head. No, like when things happen to you, and this is like, now we know there's a lot of things with like childhood trauma. It's something that I see a lot all over social media now. Like, that's one simple event that you may not even like have realized what it was or what it did to you when you were a fucking kid can still fuck you up in your adulthood. Exactly. So like we know that like things that happen to you and that you keep inside and you don't deal with can keep coming back on you, can keep affecting you and influencing your behavior and all your relationships and things like that until you deal with them. So like I think it's like everything else. You take in things, we absorb things, and then if you don't realize it, you don't deal with it, you don't externalize them. Like it built up, and then suddenly you're gonna lose it, or it's gonna keep affecting you in a way that is gonna be a burden on your daily, and you're not gonna even know why you're fucking depressed. But it's because you're not letting things go. So it's probably a very good way to do it by just like talking about your thing. Yell, like it was something like that as well. It's insane, like the feeling that I would have after, the feeling of like weightless and free after just really let go everything. Externalizing things, it's really something we need, especially if you have a stressful life, if you have a lot of things going on, like keeping things inside, it clears your mind, and it's an important thing.
It's important to have an outlet for sure. And for me, of course, my outlet is the music, because in these 2 days, for example, perfect example, but I was feeling really dark and I had these really dark thoughts, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know what to do with them. So I wrote a song, and very simple song, but I literally said what I had in mind, basically. And actually the song turned out quite good. So in the end, it's a superpower. I'm so grateful to have this. I'm able to turn. Sometimes we're able to turn human, because this is human feelings, like human pain, into something good.
Absolutely.
Like, and but yelling, is a good thing as well. I mean, I screamed a few times because I've done like hypnotherapy for like once or twice, and then at some point the therapist was like, what do you want to say to your dad or stuff like that? Because for me it's my dad. From the perspective of your inner child, and I was like, it wants to scream, it's so angry. She was like, pick up the pillow behind you and scream in the pillow. And I was like, okay. And I screamed, I was like, fuck you, in the pillow. and then I don't know if I felt better instantly, but to be honest, just letting it out. And sometimes, to be honest, when I have, because I used to repress my anger as well a lot, and at some point I was doing boxing, which was really helpful. I might go back to that actually, but otherwise when I was like feeling like very angry at some point or something, just screaming in a pillow, or maybe punching a pillow as well. And it's good, but I agree with you, it's good to let it out, but obviously in this society you can't let you, I mean, unless you like people will be like, what the fuck, this guy's dangerous. Like if you do this in public, obviously there's like some social norms, that was the word, social norms that you can't really like, unless they be like and to be honest with you, I'm one of those people that don't care to be seen as a bit mad because I think I'm a bit crazy in some level, but I think I'm the good kind. That's what I say. That's what I tell myself. But I'm the kind that will randomly dance while hearing a song in the tube, or a bit singing, not out of my lungs, but a bit singing to myself and be like just a bit silly. I love it.
Yeah,
anyway.
it's just letting out like how you feel without like really holding it. That gives you that's I think I truly believe that's what we're supposed to do as humans. I truly believe like everything, because how many times in my life I had like, oh fuck, I want to do this, and then I didn't because I'm like, I'm gonna look like a fucking crazy person. But like I truly believe like we've been shaped to repress that, but our goal and like the only thing we're supposed to fucking do is like feeling what you want, what's exciting for you, what you feel like you're gonna enjoy and want to do, and do this. And this is how you shine yourself. This is how you're happy, and this is how you are not a fucking pain for your environment. Because there's a lot of problem today just because people are frustrated, people are miserable, and they're gonna want to make your life as well miserable. Like people will criticize and will fight and will have conflicts and shit because they have problem with themselves and they're not happy. Somebody fucking happy that does what he wants, he'll never go in the fucking street try to have a conflict with somebody. So like, how do we change the world to make it a better place? By making the people by having the individual fulfilled and do what he wants to fucking do. But it will take some years of work, to spread that message. But that's the key. That's the key of everything. That's why we're here.
Of course, no, for sure. Fulfilled individuals, But it's crazy to think that all this work, all this like, talk of like being yourself and stuff and doing what you want, this is going against the current. In society's eyes. To me, that's crazy because, like you say, we should be encouraged to follow our own paths and, of course, contribute to society and stuff, and having some kind of structures. But because I feel like most people are not themselves because it's too scary. They feel they're not allowed to, probably, and stuff. I mean, that's I like to believe that things are changing a bit. At least, like the new generation and stuff is way more open about mental health than even our one. Like you and I, obviously, it's a bit different for us because we went out and we opened a bit our mind. And I don't want to patronize these people, our generation, and even our parents' generations. But before, there was absolutely no talk about mental health, and especially as well, like concerning, this is life-saving conversations, we're talking about, because men kill themselves because they don't talk. So it's quite severe, huh? Mental health because of toxic masculinity. We are bottling up all feelings that never gets out, and then at some point it gets too much, and then they kill themselves, So we need to talk.
Totally. I think I saw the. I'm pretty sure I'll say it because I'm like 95% sure, but I'll just cut that if I'm not. No, I'm just kidding. But I think I've seen in the world there's every 40 seconds somebody suicide. Which is fucking,
and it's a man.
Crazy. Well, I mean, there's way more men than women. I wouldn't know the difference, but the different percentage. So I won't like say it, but maybe I'll put it in the video. But it's I don't think it's just. I mean, there's a lot. It's a whole conversation by itself, and there's a lot. There's a lot into it. I don't think, but mainly. Mainly, it's because we're forced to be something that we're not. I think, and then we lose hope, because these are people who lose hope. Like nothing will get ever better, and nothing will. And you lose the hope and the faith for like better days and like to do things. It's fucking terrible. Like it's.
De ouf.
But yeah, the mental health, what is funny is because when it raised, it's like, oh, mental health is like people who have like mental problems. No, it's like you would talk about health, generally speaking. Like everybody can talk about health, wellness, that's cool. Like, oh, that's feeling good in your body. But like feeling good in your body starts with feeling good in your fucking head. Like are we
it's
fucking
so
insane? Like, oh, mental health, like it's something that was like, oh, almost like woo, you know. It's the fucking base. You're in your head like 24/7. It's all you have. It's where you are. Like it's the pillar of your like your entire being. If you don't deal with having
because
some sort of sanity in your mental health, like you're fucked. You are.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. And you don't enjoy it. And I mean, it's important to to be aware of how you see the world, because obviously, like, arguably, nothing is real.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going into Matthew McConaughey
we live in a
mode
simulation.
now,
We live in a simulation. We do. But, we do for sure.
Oui. Oh putain. Non, mais seriously, I would say, but I mean, we see the world through our filter, through our eyes and stuff. And the problem with, for example, depression or something is that it distorts. The filter is distorted, and you see. So if the mental health is good, you tend to see and attract better stuff to you, and if you feel bad, but I mean, it's such a broad subject, but I think we talk. One last point. I think we talk about. You said, it's okay to talk about like the body health and stuff, because I feel like, unfortunately, I do feel we are a society that privileges the looks and the appearances over what's inside.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
you know, that's.
Yeah.
You know.
But because it's what so here's the theory that I have, is because we tend to go to what's so through humanity, right? The morality, some kind of like universal morality and like wisdom of humankind, like tend to like grow nice and slowly, right? Like thousands of years ago, we would burn alive on a public place people that today we're fine with them, right? Like so we're on a nice and slow learning curve. Everything that's like the first choice and like the easy choice, it's the paradox of life. It's all very often we need to do the opposite. I'll give you an example with like the man and woman thing. Like it's a subject that is very and like I'm gonna have a lot of episodes and stuff about that, because I think it's an absolute nonsense, the war, like men and women we're like men and women need to work together and not fucking fight each other, and there's a lot involved into this. And I'm saying this because I see a lot of content that are just like conflict-based content that doesn't try to find any kind of solution. And I'm getting on this
about like the dating life of like
that type of stuff. But like I'm getting back to the theory. Like we make the wrong choice by choosing the first and easiest thing. We arrived like in First Men, the men were physically stronger than the women, and so what is the easiest thing to do, and the thing that requires the less wisdom and less possible, like it's to take the power over women and just like control everything, create a world and impose like some kind of superiority toward women. I'm talking like way far back, like that's the base. That's the base. But like because of the law of the jungle at the beginning, who was the strongest physically was ruling. That's where we're coming from. So it's always important to see. I always like to see as far as I can to understand what's happening, because it's built from that type of stuff. And so what I wanted to say is the first thing is the easiest is you need to do the opposite. It's the same thing as like you see somebody. It's the easiest thing. It doesn't require anything to see somebody and to directly judge and have assumption about how he looks. But wrong. But the paradox is that that this shouldn't be the only thing. It should be, you should be more interested to know like what that person can do, who he is, or who she is, or like whatever, and everything, the thing that requires the less like wisdom possible, the first choice that you're gonna do, it's very often in life it's the opposite that you have to do. But it's a theory that I have.
No, I understand. I mean, it's probably in our genes for like, thousands and thousands of years since we arrived on the Earth, which, to be honest, we haven't... we arrived on the Earth. We evolved.
I mean, there's different
on the
theory
Earth.
with that too, but I mean, we won't get into it. we won't get into
No, I don't know, Darwin. Were you right? Darwin?
I mean, there's things we don't know. Il y a des choses que l'on ne nous dit pas. But yeah.
Okay, that's something else, we're distracted here. Fucking hell. No, but it's good. I mean, it's looking at the past to understand where we are, where we're going to. It's it's important. It's important, and there's so much stuff that is like buried, and we're acting and stuff, and obviously like judging someone like straight away, like I think it's our brain, right? I think this is just how we do. Like maybe we assessing our environment to check if there's like danger or something. It's probably something like that, I reckon. I don't know, I'm just guessing at this point. But then having the counter thoughts, being like, I'm not going to judge this person too fast. Maybe he didn't say hello or whatever, or he didn't say goodbye. Maybe he's having a terrible day or something. But it's a thing. You don't, not judging too quickly. You know, like it's basically I qualify that as being wise. Like it's wisdom, right? But you build wisdom with experience that opened your mind and that made you understand, with knowledge and with knowing that, oh, I've seen that already, but I know it's not how it looks, and things like that. But it's gonna be hard to like switch this for sure, but it will come with new generation. Like we're coming to. I like the idea better, like as a society moving forward, of not like having more rigidity, but less rigidity, but more wisdom into people. Like more. You don't need to be over rigid if people are like happy in an utopia of a world. Like you would never need any kind of like police or things that are, if everybody would be fine with themselves, like you would need way less need for like the rigidity of the system, for laws and things like that. Obviously I'm talking about something that is like extreme, but I'm more like open the mind and open the people to like different possibilities, instead of like squeeze the most amount of like rules and rigidity you can. That's going to frustrate even more the people, and that's going to create even more fucking conflict and things like that. It's a pretty big subject as well. The thing I wanted to get back on is because I called it that episode, turning your life into an adventure. How would you, because it's basically this, and I think, just to say a few things about how would you, do you have like some kind of big plan where do you think about your life as, when you look back already just in these 10 years, but probably also when you think about when you'll be, I don't know, like maybe 70 or 80 years old, like what is your main drive to your day-to-day, and what is like the thing you want to feel and think about when you reflect back on, you know, the things you've done in your life, and like you look at these 10 years and you're like, fuck, like I did all that, and I chose a path that was different from what I was supposed to do, but I went for it, and now you're closing that chapter. Like, are you happy that you made like this decision of living your life more as like an adventure, instead of just like the security of something and just you know? I mean, for sure. I mean, for me, like for sure. Like, I mean, I want my life to be an adventure, and to be honest with you, like being an actor and stuff, sometimes I romanticize my life a lot, and I like to do that because this brings me joy. You know, I've always been someone that is a bit imaginative and a bit sometimes too out of touch with reality. I used to live in my head a lot, but now I found the right balance of like trying to be in the moment and the present and enjoying a life adventure. Before I used to say no to things, didn't even know why, like and now I tend to say yes more. Just I want to experience as many things as I want, you know, if I want them. You know, for example, I went to Iceland, so I want to travel, obviously, like most people, but I went to Iceland at the end of January. Cool. And it was amazing. It was just amazing, and I loved it, you know, and it felt like an adventure because we took a car, then we rode around, and obviously you can't go on holiday all your life, but, you know, like if I can explore the world, speak to people, do different things, like... And breaking the constructs I've made of myself, you know, like 3 years ago, I was like, oh yeah, I can't be an actor, you know, like if I want to do acting, I can, you know, doesn't mean I'm good, huh? It means just I'm doing it, and it's fun, you know, and I want to be able to live my life as an adventure, but you know, not doing. I mean, doing whatever I want, more or less. But you know, like looking back and be like having no regrets. Basically, I don't want to have any regrets. Basically, and when I'm on my deathbed, if I'm lucky enough to make it to an old age, I want to be able to look back and be like, you know, I met good people. I had good time. Like I don't even at this stage. I'm not even. Of course, I have the dream of like, and it's the dream. But to be honest, it feels really more achievable than it did like 5 years ago. For example, my goal of being a touring singer-songwriter, being a musician. Maybe I dreamed about this life most of my life, and then once I'd be there, I'd be like, oh, it's not such a big deal, and then I'd do something else. Who knows? You know what I mean? But I still, you know, for me, like we were talking about morals and values, as long as I'm aligned with this, no matter what I do, I will serve my purpose here. So, and then I will leave and who knows, you know. But me, of course, like, for me, it's the simple things, the simple things, but it's annoying that life gets in the way of the simple things sometimes. Like, especially for me, is money. Money is such a big thing. Like, I really don't care about money. I hate to think about money, because obviously, like, everyone would like not to think about money. That's a great place to be. But for me, what is the most is not even material, because since I came here, because the rooms are so small in London, I had to become less materialistic. You know what I mean? So it's not out of I forgot what I wanted to say. But for me, it's the people, the experience shared, the laughter, the tears, the feelings expressed. You know, the surprises, being surprised by life. You know, the other day I had a date in Aix, en Provence. So this was 2 weeks ago. Man, it started snowing. In Aix-en-Provence. This was so fucking romantic. And we were, because it was raining, but then it started snowing. There was only the two of us, and I got caught in the rain, so I was not ready. So we were running in the empty streets of Aix, snow falling.
A movie, yeah.
It was a film. It was a movie scene, and then we kissed near the car. You know what I mean? For me, I live for this shit. I live for this kind of moments. Like, when I'm on stage, it's such a big high because I am myself. I play my song. All the attention is on me, so of course I'm having a blast. But but then, you know, like it's more than just. It's for me, for sure. It's for me, but it's beyond me. The human connection is, I think it's really what I like, because, you know, you can go, you know, I could have gone to Iceland on my own, renting a car and stuff, but because I was with two good friends, this made the trip like so much better. Even shit situations, shitty places, when you're with the right people, it's a blast. You're having a great time, and no matter what you do, most of the time, if you find the right people, which is kind of rare and stuff. So I would say the people. I would say the people, and I mean, it's a bit vague.
It's good. I mean, it is what it is, right? Like, we can't do anything anyway just by ourselves. Like, we're doomed to collaborate. We are doomed to collaborate. There's no alternative to human collaboration. There's no alternative.
Such a word.
Like, so
wait, we are doomed to fucking talk to other people. Oh my god, if only I couldn't. I mean, you're talking to an introvert, so I mean, I'm an extrovert, introvert.
Same thing.
But when are you the same? So we need people. Also need a lot of alone time, but so it's a balance. But we are nothing without people, for sure. We are social creatures, humans. So no matter what we do,
the introvert extrovert. What's funny is that I'm very introvert in situations where, like, I handle poorly situations where there's really a lot of people, and I'm like always like like big crowds
and
but when it's just like on with intention, right? When the connection is with intention, I'm not introvert. But it's when it's like there's no purpose and we're just like mixed into a lot of people. I'm like, what do I even? Like, this is why I'm not really into. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm not really into like party. I used to, but like today, like I'm gonna select very carefully if I'm being invited somewhere or whatever. Like I'm very careful with who I give my time and what do I do. And especially where to go in situation where with a lot of people, like, because it's not gonna do nothing else than depleting my energy. But but
I understand. I understand.
So let's get back to just today. And so now you said it's been. So now are you living full time out of music, or are you still doing? Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, more or less, I'm self-employed. It's been 2 years now, and it's out of music, but mainly out of acting, to be honest. And mainly, I mean, in the last 2 years, now I got an agent and everything, but I've done like commercials, and then mainly I still do like extra work, and music. I'm part of a choir. Sometimes I sing with. I still do the weddings in the south of France. It's been like 4 or 5 years now. Every summer I have a few weddings, and somehow with all of this I can because I kind of swore to myself not to have a regular job again after. So I was like, even for example now, and I just came out last year. I was lucky enough to get a very big immersive event contract, which lasted like for 6 months. For Jurassic World, so I was like a park ranger with the dinosaurs and stuff, and so finished at the end of mid January, and since then I've had like 3-4 shoots, a few auditions, but very quiet. Basically from like January till like now, till April, really quiet times. And so that's when I'm like, I'm full of doubts again and stuff. It comes back and I'm like, oh fucking hell, should I get a regular job again? But then it always comes back. So I believe in the process. But very lucky to have arrived to this point.
It's awesome.
That's it. Huh?
You're 20 years old would be.
Then, yeah.
It
will be proud. But to be honest with you, like I want to move as well to France because, like I said earlier, I have more of a chance now. I think I have a spot in France, in the French market, and there's the status as well, which basically, if I was in France, I would be.
True.
I would
Absolutely,
be like I I would have the status here. If I don't work,
yeah.
I don't get paid. In France, I can be helped, and
True.
you know, I can do different things and stuff, and then I can still have a better, I think, a more decent life. Because getting old now, I'm yearning like to live on my own or stuff like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like now, I still live in a room, which is a good room, but it's like with 5 other people outside of London. I've never lived on my own, and I'm craving for this.
100%.
And to be honest, I think I have things are happening. I've met people and stuff, and now I think I'm a bit backed up by a few people, by at least by someone that knows a few people, and he's got my back, and we recorded in his studio in Biarritz, and then he's influential a bit in the French thing and stuff. So I think with him, to be honest, things are going to happen a bit. So I think this year is going to be a good year. If I don't get signed, I will still be independent and stuff. But at least I will start releasing French songs and growing a fan base in France, which I think will be still hard, but more doable.
Nice. And then someday you'll come in Canada, maybe in the Quebec crowd or Vancouver.
Oh my God, I would love to. I love Canada. I mean, if I'm lucky enough, man, that's the dream, huh? For me, it's just like, if I'm lucky enough to just do my songs and do like tours and connect with people every night around my songs, and then saying stupid shit between songs, like it's great, you know. That's what I want, you know.
That'd be nice. And so when are you going to Paris?
I mean, for now it's a bit like fleeting, but I would like maybe October or something. But for now, I mean, I still have some plans in here, but not much, because at the moment I'm not really working, like I told you. So I guess I can go whenever I want, really. But I just want to make sure that I can come back if I want to, just before I go, with the status and all the Brexit things and stuff. So yeah, but maybe October. I mean, last time I went there was 2 weeks ago, and I felt a good vibe. I felt possibilities there, and again, it's an adventure. So me, I'm up for it.
The adventure never ends. Once you're in it, it never ends.
It never ends. It's a lifestyle. It's an outlook. It's a philosophy.
Do you have any like gig?
Life is an adventure.
Do you have any gigs?
Any what?
Coming in
gigs?
London soon?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I have one small one next week. Just like small one, and then I want, obviously, if I go to Paris, I will like to organize a big one to say goodbye to the few people that likes my music here. And
nice.
Yeah. But for now, that's it. And then no, that's it. Huh? I mean, next week I'm going to France again to shoot a music video. So yeah, no, a few things are happening in the shadow. Let's say now I'm gathering.
It's happening in the shadow.
I'm gathering all my stuff exactly, and hoping to get support from a label and stuff, and then we'll see. For now, I'm just gathering all the elements for the labels to present myself, being like, this is me. Thanks to this guy, he's going to present the project, so he's going to have more impact. And the guy, actually, you know the guy. The guy is called Yann Marchadour. He mixed. From
really?
City.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. No, yeah, the mix and they did mix and mastering. Yeah.
Exactly. But this guy became so influential in France. Like now he's working with Florent Pagny and stuff. It's crazy. But he's got a studio, and he made me. He believes in my project. He always followed me and stuff for like years. But when I released my song in French, Bordeaux, he was like, we got something here and stuff, you should come to the studio. And so I went to the studio, and it was amazing, and we recorded a song, and we instantly clicked. And now no matter what happens, he's going to be on my side, and he wants to record me. So I'm very lucky.
Cool.
Because he doesn't need me, you know what I mean? He's like, he's got his money, he's got his studio, and he's working just fine, but he just believes in my project. So that's That's more that can what I can ask for.
But I mean, that's also probably because does he produce other people? So that's what he does, right?
Yeah.
Like you some people, their purpose is to service other people. So like that's probably a cool project for him too, because it's as the start for you, and like
exactly, yeah.
Not everybody needs to profit from each other. Sometimes just doing
yeah, for sure. No, he's amazing. He's amazing, and I mean, he's a sound engineer, mixing engineer, blah blah blah. But he also wanted to like produce people, basically, to produce like and so I'm like an experience for him as well, I guess.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, well, that's cool.
So we help each other out. Yeah, we'll see where that leads. But
can I put? Do you have a video of Bordeaux? Bordeaux.
Ouais. got a video of Bordeaux.
Can I
on my
how
Instagram.
can I take the? Because I can either, like, to close this video, I can either put the video on this as well, like the music video if you have, or just the song.
There is like a live version.
Do you have like this, like, that I can, like? Well, I can either like just put the link. I'll put a link at this point. We'll see up here a link somewhere.
It's coming here.
Somewhere here. Click here to watch and listen to Bordeaux. Bordeaux, très belle ville d'ailleurs.
Okay. Listen to Bordeaux. Yeah. Little Paris. I love the place where there's like there's water on the floor. I don't know how it's called, but I love this place. Near the bridge. This bridge.
In Paris? Oh, in Bordeaux?
No, in Bordeaux.
I mean, there's a lot of bridge, because there's literally something that crosses.
There's the bridge, and then there's like a lion.
Lion probably.
Statue, which is a bit ugly, to be honest.
I couldn't tell you right now.
It's like a fucking ugly lion. Which is a very big, colorful lion. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, that's cool. Well, you're no, I mean,
that's cool.
I mean, it's your family that must be stoked that you're coming back home, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I've been influenced by my brother, because my sister have been in Paris for 6 years, but my brother going, I'm like, oh, okay, so everyone is there. I feel like I have things to live in Paris. Yeah. That's it. I think there's things for me there. I think I can, because obviously the market is so much smaller as well, and there's less people, and once you get into it, you know everyone more or less. So it's like, there's possibilities, and I do think that me singing in French now makes more sense that I stay in a French country. Yeah.
True.
You know what I mean? Even though there's more French, there's a lot of French people here in London, but yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, feeling that you have the opportunity, it's all we need, right? We just need a little bit of hope and faith to pursue. That's
exactly, my friend. Yes, it's good to have hope. Yeah, we have to have hope. Things that things are changing, basically.
No, totally.
When we're not feeling good, it's hard, but I used not to see the light at the end of the tunnel and stuff, but now it's very faint when I feel dark, but it's still there, and to arrive to this point again, I would suggest therapy to everyone listening. For me, this is the way. This is the way to feel better and to know who you are and love yourself at the end.
Toward like the fact of just like speaking, or what that specific therapist like worked a certain way on you, or like both, I guess.
I mean, depends on both, but depends, because I had a lot of self-awareness, but I could not direct it, if that makes sense. I could not like know what to do with it, because I was this comes with like overthinking. I still do a little bit of overthinking to this day, but I knew a bit who I was, but it was just a mess, just a bloody mess that I had to uncover. And having someone else just speaking out, yes, is good, But then you dig deeper and deeper with the sessions, and then you uncover other things. And then it's just like a whole process. But obviously, like, it's important to find the right person to do it with as well. So it might take some trials and errors, as always in life. Just try and fail and try again. And then maybe hypnotherapy. I mean, you have to do what's right for you. Like, it's hard to explain. For me, like, I've tried many different therapists in my life. And the sixth one really worked out. But otherwise, the other ones, sometimes I felt judged. I didn't feel like... So I was like, just trying. But
nice.
Yeah. It's important.
Noted. We talked
about a lot of things, huh?
No, that was good. I can't wait to see...
I enjoyed
what Paris has in store for you, and follow this new thing. It's always interesting because when you get to a new place, like, there's new energies, right? And it's like it's a new momentum. It's like different. It creates some new thoughts, new ideas, new inspiration, especially for artists. Like, it's changing in place. It's massively impact your ta muse.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it will be a cool experience.
Definitely. It's important, yeah. I can't wait, It's gonna be nice. But thank you for having me,
You're welcome. Thanks for participating in the show that is just starting, right? You're the second...
How to be human. No, the curious art of being human. Love it. Love the title. How to make one's life an adventure. It's all about the unlock.
C'est ça. Well, thanks. Merci beaucoup. And,
merci, mon gars. Merci.
We'll talk.
Thank you so much.
We'll talk, in about I don't know when, but we'll do a second episode in about a year when you'll be in Paris. Maybe,
soon.
Who knows, I'll be there as well, and we'll do it physically. And then,
Oh, yeah, it will be nice to see you in real life, for sure. It will be nice.
Well,
okay.
Have a good evening, and I'll see you another time. See you.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you.